Hey guys, welcome back to day 4 of the Sit and Go Trainer, and today we're going to be talking about hand matchups. Before we do that, let's do a little quick recap of what we learned yesterday. And basically, what we do is I talked about poker tools, and hopefully you did get at least signed up for Poker Edge as well as the Poker Calculator Pro. You can do that by visiting virtualpokercoaching.com/pokertools.php, or there was a link below the video. You can click on there and get there. And remember, they're free trials, so check them out. You're definitely going to see that they're going to help your learning curve a lot quicker by having these tools available to you while you're playing. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about hand matchups, and put in here, knowing the winning percentage of certain hands may be shocking. And the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of times that people think that you're a much bigger favorite than you actually are, but when you actually run the numbers or run the cards through, you realize that you're not always as big a favorite as you think. So there's going to be a few hands that I'm going to want to look at. Obviously, we're not going to look at, whenever we see it on TV, we see the different percentages. Besides, when someone gets it all in pre-flop, and then you see those little percentages next to the cards, and it sort of counts down as the cards come out. I'm not going to expect you guys to learn all those different maths. We're gonna really look at 4 common situations, and if you can put these to memory, you should be fine with them, and they're pretty easy to do. So let's have a look at those matchups here. The first one is going to be, I got Ace King versus 8-8. Now this is not, I don't mean it always has to be Ace King versus 8-8. What I mean is 2 overcards to a lower pair. So this could be 9-9 against Ace Queen, Ace Jack, King Jack, whatever. So as long as these 2 overcards are above the pair there, you're roughly, and you probably heard it all the time, you're roughly about 50-50. You hear that all the time. I'm going to make it as easy. I'm not going to say it's 54-45-46 or whatever it is. Roughly it's 50-50. So if you can keep that to memory, it's very important there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head on over to cardplayer.com. So you can do this. There'll be a link below this video as well. And they have a cool tool, a free tool over here, a poker odds calculator. So you scroll down the left-hand side, you click on Poker Tools, Poker Odds Calculator here, and it pulls up this one here. And I'm just going to show you the math sort of behind some of this stuff. So I just want to center it in my screen here, and we're looking at. So the first example I told you was Ace King. Okay, so you click on these cards up here, and it brings out the Ace King. And in that example, I said it was 8-8, a pair of 8s. Okay, and then it tells you the percentages. So really, I know we always say it's 50-50, but it's actually 44% on the Ace King and 55% on the 8s. Let's change this to 9s. I don't know if that changes it that much. It's still about 44-55, but you get the idea. Roughly, it's 50-50, and that's the number that you want to keep in your mind. The next one we want to look at is, and this is a worst case scenario you can ever be in, is if you have a lower pair than someone's over pair. So in this case, I'm showing you aces against 10s. This could be kings against 6s. This could be, anytime you have that, you're going to be, if you have the over pair, you're going to be a 4-1 favorite. So what that means is, out of every 5 times that this situation occurs, you will win it 4 out of 5 times, so for 80% of the time. So we're going to go look at that over here. Head back over to the card player. Let's bring these back up. So the example I used there was Ace-Ace. So let's put up Ace-Ace. Oops. Let me click on here. We'll put up this guy's ace over here. And let's say you were up against jacks. Okay. So right there, see 80%, 80.31%, 19.36%. I'm not going to expect you to learn these exact. Now, some guys do know this, but honestly, you really don't need to. You just need to know the fact that if you've got an over pair to someone's under pair, you're going to, out of every 5 times that happens, you're going to win it 4 times, or 80%. So that's one that you want to keep in mind there. So we've got the 2 overs towards a pair. We know it's roughly about 50-50. So every 2 times this happens, you're going to win 1, right? Here's an over pair to an under pair. You're a 4-1 favorite if you have the over pair, or you're a 4-1 underdog if you don't. Here's another scenario that we see very often, where we have a pair in between an ace and another smaller card. So meaning that you have a pair that he's only really got the 3 aces, over here. And this is one that comes up a lot if you've ever played Sit and Goes. And you're not as big a favorite as you think with the pair, even though he only has 3 aces to go. And I'm going to go show that to you over here. So let's bring this back. We'll bring this back here. So we're going to say, let's say he's got something like an ace 9. And you have a pair of jacks, let's say. So, right? So he really only has the 9s under your jack, so he doesn't have 2 overs to your pair. So it's not 50-50, but look what it is. It's 70-30. Which is roughly about, you're going to win this ace, even though you only have 3 aces out there that can help you, you're still going to win this almost 1/3 of the time, almost 30% of the time. So what you want to do is look at it here. It's like you're going to, every 3 times, so you're actually only a 2-to-1 favorite over here, where a lot of people think that, oh, he hits his ace, he only had a 3-outer. We hear that all the time. He hit a 3-outer, he hit a 3-outer. Well, if he has a 3-outer with before the flop, he's still going to win that 1/3 of the time. So you need to keep that in mind when you're doing that. So every 3 times this happens, your pair is going to win 2 of the times, and this ace-4 is going to win about 1 of the times out of the 3. Okay, and then the last scenario I want to show you is where you have 2 overcards, and this one might be very shocking to people. Something like ace-king against someone's like 7-6. Okay, and everyone thinks you're such a big favorite with ace-king, and you're really, really not. And what the odds actually work out to is about 60-40, meaning that out of every 5 times this happens, your ace-king is only going to win 3 of it, meaning that the 7-6 is actually going to win 2 out of those 5 times, which is 40%. So let's look at that. I'm going to look at that scenario here. We're going to pop it in here. We'll get rid of these jacks. And I'll put in a 7 and then a 6 over here. And I mean, this could be a 5 and a 4. This could be a 7 and an 8. What have you. I just want to show you that it's 38.34% here, 61%. So we're talking almost 60-40. So just remember that you're about 60-40, meaning that you're 3-2. So every 5 times, you're only going to win with your ace-king 3 of those times, meaning you're going to lose 2 of the times, which is a lot. So whenever that happens to you, and you're like, oh, I can't believe this guy did this, and I lost with ace-king against, a 3-4, well, it's going to happen 2 out of every 5 times, which is quite high. So what you want to do, so that's all I want to talk about. These are the most common ones. I don't want you to memorize the exact percentages, but if you keep these guidelines, this is more than enough for you to know. So let's look at your homework for today. Just memorize these 4 different kinds of matchups. Once you get some experience, these are going to be very, very easy for you to do. But they're important ones, and they're probably the most common ones that you see over and over. So make sure you memorize those 4 matchups. And tomorrow's lesson, what we're going to be talking about is calculating your outs, figuring out which cards you need to improve your hand. So that's going to be a great lesson. Come back tomorrow, and I'll talk to you soon.